Hello, and welcome once again to Loveland's Talking. My name is Andy Hiller. I'm the public information person here for the City of Loveland to share with you, the public, information about what's going on with your city government. It's open. Yes, it's open. The large expansion to the Loveland Public Library is now open, and it's become very popular already. Not only is the building, or I'll call it a wing because it's an addition to the physical addition to the building, not only larger in square footage and that sort of thing, but it's offering a lot more, especially in the nature of some high-tech facilities and some expansions and improvements to what's offered for children and teens and even for us more mature people.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. So, hopefully, many of you have already been there and done that, been to the library and seen what's going on there. But if you haven't, we hope you'll take the opportunity to go soon and enjoy some of the new facilities, and also learn this half hour, I should say, about what you can expect when you get there. So I'm going to begin by having the two kind of top folks from the library introduce themselves. Ladies first.
Marcia Lewis, the Associate Director.
And I'm Ted Schmidt, Library Director.
And that was pretty brief. How long have you guys been doing this?
A long time.
Yeah.
I just had my 29th anniversary with the City Library.
Wow.
And I have 22 years in.
22 years.
Yeah.
So between the two of you, if my math is pretty good, that's in excess of 50.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. Okay.
We'll have our diamond anniversary together.
There you go. You can go out to dinner together.
Why not?
And celebrate.
Are you paying?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you clearly.
Okay. Just checking.
Okay. All right. So, before we talk about the new portion of the building, let's talk about the facility in general as it has been. Here's kind of an exterior look of the current entrance. When was this building constructed?
We moved in the fall of 1987.
87. So that's, help me with my math here. That's what,
24 or 34?
24 years.
No, 24. Yeah, 24. Yeah.
If you know the answer, please call us. Let us know. Okay.
Well, in the newspaper, the 25 years ago, a lot of the little segments have been about the planning for the whole civic center, which the library's a part of. So
okay, all right.
It was in the works for a couple of years.
Okay. And have there been any expansions or significant changes since then?
Yeah, there was about a 3,200 square foot addition put on in 1995 and 96 that used capital expansion fee money, and that was the origin of the media department for the library in the northeast corner, where we had a very small 12-computer lab, and all the CDs and DVDs and the videotape and all that was aggregated in that media area.
Well, you talk about that as if it was eons ago. I mean,
I
that just changed a month ago, right?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah,
basically a month ago. We have moved into the new computer facilities, and it's just wonderful.
So here's kind of a bird's eye view. How big is the old footprint, and how big is it now?
Well, I think the fairest way to say is the existing library is about 32,000 square feet, and the new addition on the 2 stories, the total of the 2 stories is about 25,000. I think the figure being quoted is 24,700 square feet, and that's the new stuff that is open now.
Okay, and what we're going to concentrate today is on the new stuff that's open now. Mm-hmm. However, there's more yet, right? Because the new building is basically an additional building, phase 1, but there, as we can see by this slide, there are 2 other phases. What do those mean?
Well, the current phase 2 that we're in right now, as of September 13th, is a remodel and actually a complete reworking of the north half of the old existing building. And I don't know how many square feet that is, but it involves a much enlarged circulation area. It'll be an addition.
Hold on.
Oh,
Give me all the details
the
now.
detail.
We're going to save that for later. Okay. So basically, phase phases 2 and 3 have to do with redoing what's
remodel,
currently there.
And reworking it.
Okay. Sorry to put the brakes
Yeah,
on.
no.
We got to save the suspense here for later. Okay, so let's go back to the newly opened area, and here's kind of a 3D view of it with the new area circled. Have they put a roof on it yet?
Yeah, we do have a roof.
Okay, that's good.
It's not a virtual roof either.
Okay. So there's a look at it. You mentioned, if you would again, how large the new area is?
About 27,400 square feet on the 2 stories.
And it's taller as well as larger. It's twice as high. So it's a 2-story, and I presume there's a couple of ways to get up there, or is that part of the exercise portion, going to stair stepping?
One elevator.
There is an
2
elevator.
staircases.
Okay. So it's easy to get up and down. So let's start by taking a look at one of the, I guess this is the first floor of the 2-story expansion area. And I see in a big blue area with children's there. Is that obviously an area aimed at children?
That's the biggest.
What's there?
Well, starting on the right, on the east side, is the new Mrs. Rumschmuckel's reading room, where we have the story times and children's activities.
Mrs. Who? Who is that?
Mrs. Rumschmuckel's reading room.
I see. Okay.
We had that in the old library, but it's expanded and changed. So the murals are in there that were in the old children's area. And it's a beautiful new space for all sorts of activities and programming. And outside of that are the books for the youngest children and computers for the youngest children. And as you move west, it becomes for older and older children, and a little quieter as you get to the semicircle. There at the end is the homework help or homework study area, quiet area, and there's a small meeting room for tutoring and things too. So it's a beautiful new space.
So the youngsters have their own computers?
Yep.
We've got some brand new ones with preloaded appropriate software and games and reading activities, pre-reading activities and things that are really fun.
And then you mentioned there's an area specifically for them to do homework?
Yeah, that curved wall on the left-hand side. Yeah, that's the library's reference collection for children. And then there's tables and then computers on the right-hand part of that room they're all filtered computers in the children's room, and they're specifically for kids. This is Chris Zimmerman working with children in Mrs. Rumschmuckel's reading room at looks like a toddler story time that she's doing.
Okay.
So we have a very active program for newborns and toddlers through grade school age children.
I see. And it looks like we have a kid and a mom reading together here.
And this faces north, and there's wonderful lighting and comfortable places for parents and children to read together. And, our children's librarian says that so many of the people that come in just stand at the entrance in awe of how beautiful the whole space is. So if you haven't come yet, you should.
All righty. Okay.
Even if you don't have children, come take a look.
All righty. Yeah.
You know, and another thing that was really nice about this was previously the library was quite removed from the corner of 4th and Adams.
Right.
And now we're a lot more closer to that corner, and we have a lot more windows so people can see in the night when, the lights are all on, and they can see all of the activity that's going on, in the children's rooms at the first place, and then a little bit further to the east, to the right, in the teen scene room. There's a lot of activity. So people know that this is a library. They now can identify this as a library.
Doesn't look like the back of a warehouse anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, speaking about the teen scene, that's on the far right here. What's in there? And we'll see if the photos that I have match up with what you're going to tell us.
Okay,
What is this?
That's the inside of the teen scene room. And our 2 librarians that are working in there have a number of computers on the right-hand side on this banquette seating.
I have another shot of that shows that a little better.
Yeah,
they're on the left.
Yeah, and they're working. Yep. Yeah, they're working on computers on these lounge chairs. The room to the right in this picture is a gaming room, It has a number of PCs, I think there are 8 of them in there for the teens to use to do homework and other kinds of work, legitimate hard work. But in addition, there's a console and a large screen TV, and the console that the city is actually making the furniture for it houses a Sony Wii game playing system, an Xbox, and a PlayStation. And there are all of the paraphernalia that go along with Guitar Hero and Band Hero and all the rest. So the teens can come into their, typically we're calling teens anybody from age 11 up to age 18 are, encouraged to come into the room and use the gaming things to play, with each other, have competitions, tournaments. So there's a lot of things that are planned for that teen room.
Well, that sounds like fun. What about us folks that are young at heart? Can I go in there and practice my Wii tennis stroke?
I don't think so. I don't want to mention
age discrimination.
Yeah, I don't want to mention hair color or anything like that. But
hey, yours is getting there too, Val.
I know. Well, yeah.
Not to mention your stash. Yeah.
Teens, after so long without much of a real space in the library, deserve to have a very special place for their collections and their activities and their programming.
Yeah.
It'd be a lot of fun.
And I guess I'm offering a stereotype here that may or may not be true, but I bet having a teen area kind of makes other areas a little more quiet.
Yeah.
There's a little less going on elsewhere.
Yeah, this room was designed to serve as a I guess tornado is that's what the capacity, the engineering is, that it's designed as a tornado shelter. In terms
figuratively
of,
or literally?
Yeah, literally. Yeah, it has a lot of features that will offer protection for library users in the event of really a serious weather occurrence. So make sure you show up, and then maybe we'll let you play at the gaming station.
Okay, maybe I can call in a fake report just so I can get in there.
Yeah,
all right,
you're going to get in trouble.
All right, just trying to be creative.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that's kind of the first floor. Is there anything else you want to mention on the first floor? Let me see if I can get back to that first floor slide here.
Well, the green sorting room won't really be in effect till the end of Phase 2, but the entrance is there, and people will be able to drop off their returning materials, and we'll have an automated sorting system to collect the materials and to check them in and pre-sort them into 9 categories, and then our staff, of course, still have to take them to the shelf.
Okay, so that's really a room for the staff to use
Yeah.
in collecting the return
the
materials.
but the drive-up and walk-up book returns will be handy to the entrance.
There's a drive up?
Yeah. There's a new drive up off of Adams, and then a walk up. And then we're also going to have lockers. There's 20-plus lockers that are built into that south wall on the green room. And those are for people to be able to call ahead or email us or whatever and tell us something they need that they can't pick up during regular library hours. And the staff will pick it and put it into the locker, and then the public will be able to come in 24/7 and enter a code in, and then the door will open, and there's their item. Yep.
Wow. You got pick up and drop off, huh?
Heck yeah.
Well, that's great.
But the new entrance is going to be changing kind of where the bottom of the oval is. That'll be sometime around the 1st of November. That'll be the new entrance for the library, and the current entrance will be blocked off. Okay. And that'll be when Phase 3 starts.
I got you. Okay. Well, let's use the elevator you referred to, and if I can find the right one here. Oh, is that it? There we go. Now we're upstairs, and it looks like a variety of things that start with I.
Yep.
Why don't you explain them? How about right to left? I learn. What is that?
Well, I'll do that one, and you can do the next one.
Okay.
I Learn is a 15-computer laboratory for teaching computer skills. And, the library's been doing teaching since 1996. I think it was April of 1996 was when we opened that edition on the northeast corner. And we've been teaching, basic classes on how to set up an email account, how to turn on your computer, how to troubleshoot problems to a very basic extent, how to search the internet, very, very basic kinds of things.
101 type things.
Yeah. But we're looking to expand that in this iLearn laboratory. And library staff have been doing a lot of outreach to, the Workforce Center, the Small Business Center here in Loveland. I know we've talked to the Photography Club. We've talked to a number of other entities to try to work out arrangements for bringing teachers in to use that iLearn lab and teach the public, a subject that requires the use of a computer and that they have some expertise in. So we're working out the policies on how we're going to do that and open that lab up. But my dream is that lab would be used 7 days a week, and we would be teaching people all different kinds of computer applications.
I see, and it would be outside people who would be coming in, outside experts serving as the instructors rather
some
than the
staff.
library staff.
Well, it would be some staff, friends of the library, anybody who has some expertise in a field. We're going to come up with an application process for people to teach and work out some policies on that. But that'll be that iLearn lab.
I just had an idea for that. I'll talk to you about it
later.
Okay. One thing that I know of, or I believe anyway, is that in the past, or up until a couple of weeks ago, your computer area, which had, roughly 15 computers, and if you wanted to have a class, that's where you'd hold it, but the regular day-to-day users were then locked out until the class was over. So here, you've got a separate room for that, and regular use can continue, and I think that's what the next room is.
That's the iExplore room.
Okay.
And we have 48 computers in there, and they said we haven't filled it to capacity at any one time yet, but we will.
Well, that's a big jump from a dozen or 15 to
48. There's 34 in there at one time already in this first month. But it's heavily used, and yes, you could continue to use those and have classes in the iLearn separate.
And I can see, because of these little cubicles, there's a little more privacy for each user than there was before. And here's another view looking the other way. And now, what about things like if I need to print something out? Is there a printer attached to each one, or?
Yeah, it's actually networked over on the right-hand side. There's a printer and a print release station.
I see. And is there I know there's no cost to come in and use the computers, correct? Is there a cost for printing and that sort of thing? Okay.
I think it's 10 cents a page for black and white and 75 cents a page for color.
I see. Okay.
And we are, I think we're selling little earbuds, so if people want to listen to music instead of, the old-fashioned ones where we had to kind of try to sanitize.
After each use?
Yeah, now we're selling buds, and we're also selling USB drives. If somebody wants to download into a drive, then they can do that too on these.
Okay. Cool. All right, well, I'm going to go back to the picture here. So those were iLearn and iExplore. iCreate, what's that?
iCreate is a third type of computer facility. It's fairly unique, I think, in libraries around the country. And it's going to be two high-end Macintosh computers. We're hoping to load a lot of pretty sophisticated software for content creation. We're hoping to be able to afford to load Adobe Photoshop, I think it's Suite, and a number of other types of content creation software. And people will be able to come into those, into that room and then work on those two computers to edit their material, and then they can download it to YouTube, or they can, wherever they want to send it, or they'll have DVD burners so they can burn it to a DVD. The hope is that, we could have people come in and, for lack of a better term, they could tape a neighbor or a family member about the family history in Loveland, and and then do the editing on it and create a historical record, of people's participation in Loveland's history. and we would love to have access to those as they're created. So, that's one kind of content. But we're also going to be using that Aryan Foundation Community Room, which is the green room kind of in the southwest corner of the second floor, to do some, what I hope is going to become some musical production. And they're wired into iCreate. So we'll be able to create programming, a chamber quartet, an author coming in for a book signing and a book talk, a poet doing a reading, any kind of content in that Aryan room, take it into iCreate, and then create content that we can put on Channel 16. So we can start creating some program of local cultural events and things like that out of the room. Yeah. Yep.
Cool. And the other room without an eye there, the eye need to go to the restroom.
Restroom. Yeah.
Okay, so the restroom's upstairs as well as downstairs, and probably that.
And the Aryan room seats 48. So it's not as large as the Gertrude Scott room downstairs, but it is a second meeting room, and it is dividable. So, and there is a study room up there, study conference room up there.
I see.
So we have a lot more spaces for small groups and groups of different sizes to use.
Good. Okay. Are all the things we talked about up and running and ready to go?
Well, except for iCreate, that one is being used as staff space during Phase 2 while they're creating new staff space down on the first floor. But eventually we'll move, probably in Phase 3, we'll move the iCreate lab in, and I hope by the first of the year we'll have it up and running.
Okay. Well, that brings us to, that one again. Okay. So we've talked in general about the new features and everything in the new physical portion of the building in Phase 1. You're redoing the existing. And we're not talking about just new carpet and paint here. I mean, this is going from A to Z. Why don't you discuss a little bit what the rest of the library will look like?
My old office was in that Phase 2, and as soon as they were pulling the boxes and the furniture out, they were cutting a hole in it. The construction company was cutting a hole in it, so they did quite a bit of demolition of the existing internal walls, and it will look quite different.
Yeah, it's very impressive how quickly they have demolished all of that Phase 2 area. It's actually began August 15th, the Monday the 15th, and by Monday the 22nd they had gutted, the whole Phase 2. Yeah, it was down to concrete and the roof line, the roof you could see. So they haven't had to change out any of the heating or air conditioning, but they're going to be changing all the lighting. They've already installed all of the metal studs and new electrical. They had saws in there to cut into the concrete floor so they could put new electrical service in, and then they've cemented that all over. So they're installing walls for a lot of new space. On the right-hand side of this painting, or this drawing, for example, the Rotary Clubs sponsored a business center, a small business center. And there are two conference rooms, small conference rooms on the right-hand side, and then the business library is just to the south of that. There's a local history and genealogy room that's just kind of to the upper right of that Phase 2 sign on here. That'll be new space. The media collection is covered by the Phase 2 space.
Now, when you say media collection, you're talking about what?
The DVDs, CDs. We still have videotapes and even some audio tapes in case anybody has an audio cassette player.
Gotcha.
And they know what that is.
I've got an 8-track in my car, so
we don't have any of those. No.
Okay.
But that'll be kind of moving to the west under the Phase 2 sign, and then the circulation area will be open, and there'll be a new entrance into the children's room that's in Phase 2 as well. But it's all new lighting, all new carpeting, new surfaces, painting and such. But there is a lot of new room space in there. A lot of new metal studs are going up for new room space. And it's very exciting, all the new things that are going to be in that second phase.
And actually, the far right side of Phase 3 at the top is the new fireplace room, and they decided to go ahead and put a hole in the ceiling for the fireplace now rather than waiting till October or November. So
Okay.
that will be. That's
So
being
there's
worked
going to
on
be
right
kind
now,
of
too.
like a little living room with a fireplace.
Oh, yeah.
And just sit
Reading
and
area,
read.
comfortable
Yeah.
reading area.
Yeah, the fireplace is actually installed, and they've got the utility is all in. They got the gas line to it, and they're starting to do the rock work around the fireplace. So this construction company is moving right along.
Okay. And the overall design, I mean, when you walk in, I understand, tell me what you see when you walk in and head into the main area.
Well, in the from the new entrances on the west side, what the design theme for the whole project was Loveland geography, topography, and Loveland history. So there's a river theme that starts outside of the building, actually, and it was built into the concrete when it was poured on the west side of the building. You go in through the sliding doors on the west side and the south side into kind of an airlock area, and then when you go into the actual building,
to follow here.
Yeah,
this is the entryway,
yeah, and that's
right?
the airlock area.
Okay, and you're talking about heading this
in there.
direction.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it's a poured concrete material called bowmanite, and it's a polished concrete that looks very, very much like marble. But it's not as expensive as marble, and it replicates, or I guess it doesn't replicate it. It's sort of hints at, yeah, the Big Thompson River.
Okay.
So
that's a very nice way of putting it.
Yeah. It'll go all the way through the whole spine of the building, the east-west spine.
Talking about.
All the way through there, all the way to the
there.
fireplace room on that far right-hand side.
Okay,
So and then it's carpeting on to the north and carpeting to the south. But we'll have that bowmanite looking like walking through water and on a riverbank.
Cool.
Most of the artwork and quite a bit of art glass will have a natural theme too. So it's really going to be very beautiful.
Very nice.
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
nice. Okay. Well, Phase 2 is in progress. Then I assume, my understanding, it's amazing, you guys. First of all, I'm surprised you don't have to wear hard hats at your computer desk, because all this is going on while you're still there. It's not like you closed the library to do this.
No.
Not so far.
Yeah, so all this area is shut off now, right?
Yep.
So you move stuff from there into Phase 3, and I assume you're going to have to do it again the other direction here when Phase 2 is completed.
We're all
Phase
losing
3.
a little sleep over what to do about Phase 3 because the entire adult fiction and nonfiction collection is huge, and we have to move that somewhere. So
I see.
there may be some bigger disruptions or closures during Phase 3.
Okay.
But it's only 2 months.
Okay, that's
Keep
what
telling
yeah,
yourself.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So, when do you expect the grand opening for everything to occur?
Well, we're hoping, and the construction company is hoping, that we get completely finished by the end of the calendar year, or the first week or so of January. And then the grand reopening of the whole building, obviously we will be open, because we haven't been closed except for one day when there was electrical work being done. We're hoping that we'll have this grand reopening celebration starting Friday, February 13th or 14th? 17th, Friday the 17th. And then the grand public reopening is scheduled to start on Saturday the 18th and kind of run through that next week. And there are a lot of events that we're still in the planning phase to have to celebrate this whole project.
Okay, so it sounds like physically the place will be completed and pretty much open in time for Happy New Year.
Yep.
And the festivities celebrating all this will coincide more with Valentine's Day.
Yeah, that weekend after.
Yeah. I mean, calendar-wise,
Yep,
anyway.
yep.
Yeah, cool.
Want to be sure to give ourselves time to be really settled.
Yeah. I remember, this is off the subject, but we got an invitation, a coupon for a special deal at a new restaurant. And, this is a good deal. Let's go over. And they had a whole bunch of people in there. It was like their first day or two that they were open. And they were so foolish because, they didn't have their act together. Nobody does the first couple of days. And they invited all these people to see their lack of organization. And instead of a bunch of happy people, they had a bunch of disappointed customers.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
That doesn't happen.
Yeah. So wait till you have all your ducks in a row before you have the grand opening.
Yep.
So cool. All right. Well, I personally, as you guys know, spend time in the library frequently. And I've enjoyed it, and I've enjoyed going upstairs and seeing the new equipment. I haven't had hands-on with it because I'm still waiting for to sneak into that Wii area and into the teen area, but we won't talk about that. So, any event, anything else you want to mention before we call it a day?
Well, I think one of the main things is that this will be the City of Loveland's first LEED certified building.
And what does that mean?
That we have met certain standards for energy efficiency. And we're excited about some of those aspects. So the natural theme isn't just in the floor, but in our whole operations. And we really want to be a community center, and there's lots of great space for a lot of different people. So
excellent. Good.
And again, we want to celebrate the fact that the community, supported this project so well. The Friends of the Library and the Library Board did this fundraising campaign during two of the hardest economic years that Loveland or the U.S. or the world has seen, and were able to raise $2 million towards the project. The project itself is probably about $1,700,000 under what we had expected the cost to be, because the environment, the bidding environment was, so beneficial to us as the owner. But, we were able to employ a lot of people in, this area in northern Colorado as the contractors and the subcontractors who bid the job were able to keep working. So, it's been a win-win situation for us. And, the fundraising, we wouldn't have gotten the project started a year ago. I guess it was, just about a year ago that they started pushing dirt around, unless the city council had the confidence in the Friends of the Library and the Library Board to allow us to move ahead back in September, even though I think back then we had maybe a little over $1 million raised. But we were able to present the check to city council in July for the full $2 million. So, I'm just so proud of, the work that the Friends and the Library Board did in doing this fundraising campaign.
Well, that's great. And when it's all said and done, the city will have another showcase facility here.
It's going to be spectacular.
Yeah,
yep.
Great. Okay. Well, I guess I ought to put you down on the February list when it's all open to talk about Phase 2 and Phase 3. So we'll look forward to that.
Okay.
In the meantime, thanks for doing this.
Yep. Thank you, Andy.
And as always, folks, thank you for tuning in. And drop on by the library. I'm sure you will very much appreciate what's there. Take care now. Bye-bye.